Hey, this is the national treasure and the world's champion, Nick Aldis, and you're listening to the Mean Street Podcast.
Live on location, this is the Mean Street Podcast.
Hey everybody, it's Brandon here. We just got done with the NWA press conference. We're doing a few one-on-ones with some of the talent here, and of course, we are very honored to be sitting here with the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very good, Brandon. Thanks for having me.
You got it, and we are super excited. Of course, tonight and tomorrow night, we have the big studio TV tapings here for the NWA. What can the fans expect? I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff, especially this week, going on in the wrestling world. What can the fans expect from the NWA? What might make the NWA stand out over everything else that's going on in the world of wrestling right now?
I think when you look at the product that we put out in the studio wrestling, you're going to see the talent of today, some of the best talent in the modern era, be presented in a way that no one in our generation have ever had a chance to be presented. You know, like we hear a lot of the time some of these old timers make comments to the effect of, oh, you know, guys can't cut promos like the old days and can't talk and do this and do that. But they've also never given our generation that platform to do it that way. Mm-hmm. This is going to be the modern interpretation of that platform. Studio format. Very sink or swim kind of atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody, you go out, microphones put in your face, cameras right in your face. There's some people there, but you don't get the safety of a big arena and a bunch of chanting and a bunch of nonsense. You've got to compel the people with what you say and what you do. It's going to be like a pressure cooker situation. You know, we're going to see guys really get a chance to show who they are and show some personality and see conflict in a totally different way and not in this sort of very produced, very orchestrated sort of fashion. It's going to be in a much more organic, raw type of way. It's going to be a very authentic experience. And I think that for a lot of people, they're going to see wrestlers who they might be familiar with, you know, who they've seen over the years, like myself, like a Ken Anderson, like a James Storm or Eli Drake. They're going to get to see them in a different environment where they go, wow, I didn't know that guy had that in him, you know, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And there's all this new talent. Ricky Starks is going to be a major star in this business. You know, we got Wildcard, Tom getting another bite of the apple in a different way with Royce, who's a new up-and-coming talent. You know, Camille, some of the ladies that are going to be there. These are people that are going to get showcased in a way that they've never had the opportunity to be showcased before. And some of them are going to sink and some are going to swim. But the ones who swim are going to swim all the way to the top of the mountain, I think. Yeah.
That's fantastic. We are super excited that you guys are here in Atlanta, and we're lucky enough for you guys to be doing your TV tapings here in Atlanta. But do you know if you have any plans of doing any other kind of tapings, or either just being on the road doing maybe house shows or anything like that anywhere else in the country?
There are absolutely those plans in place for for live events and different things that I think are going to start off it's most likely going to be in the Southeast at first. We're gonna do things the way that fans have asked us to do it, you know, and we're gonna play to our strengths. Like, we don't overpromise, you know, we try to over-deliver, and we're trying to listen to the audience that we're going after. You know, we hear from 2 years ago when we started this, we've heard so much sentiment from fans predominantly in the Southeast, not just in the Southeast, but mostly in the Southeast. Sure, who have said that they miss that kind of wrestling. They miss that product that spoke to them on that level, you know, and when that kind of wrestling went away, their love for wrestling went away. So we're going to bring those people back. Instead of all fighting over the same audience, we're going to go after some of the audience that perhaps decided that, you know, wrestling wasn't for them anymore, because we're going to say, no, wrestling is for you. Here's your wrestling.
That's awesome. Well, that's great. So for you on a personal level, we know you're a fighting champion. You've faced some of the best in the business, but do you have your sights set on anybody in particular? Is anybody who hasn't fought for the title yet that you might look forward to facing?
Well, there are a number of people who we've signed who are yet to get a chance at the 10 pounds of gold, and those guys, I think that it's pretty safe to say are, you know, obvious to most people. Eli Drake, James Storm, you know, among them, and outside of that, you know, the sky's the limit. I always say that the possibilities here are endless. We believe this to be the real World's Championship. And nobody thought that Cody and I was possible a year ago, or more than a year ago. Nobody thought that would happen. Right. They went, well, that can't happen because he's under contract to Ring of Honor. And, and now we get, oh, well, that can't happen again because he's under contract to AEW. Well, we've already proven that that's not true. We can make it happen when the athletes want it, the promoters want it, and the audience wants it. Most importantly, we can make it happen across any promotion. We don't believe in those barriers and those boundaries, because I personally think that type of mentality is what holds the business back. Right. Is this idea that everyone wants to be in a war with each other. Everyone wants to say, oh, this is my company and we're going to beat all the other companies. And no, I want your company to do well just like I want this company to do well. And hopefully we can work together at some point. And if all I care about is that I'm a big-time pro wrestler, and that when my name's on the marquee and it's the main event and the World Championship is on the line, it's a big deal. Yeah. That's it.
And I agree with you. Like, the better every company does, it's the better for the fans. I mean, the fans are really the ones winning in this whole thing. When you say, like, we're going to beat two companies, or we're going to beat you, no, the fans are winning the whole thing.
Well, all you have to do is go back and look at All In and go, like, Cody and I had absolutely no right to be to be the level that we were as far as interest in that show, but we ended up being the true main event of that show and the most talked about match of 2018. No giant marketing machine behind us. No TV even. Just our product that we put out in our way. And by the time we got to Chicago, it was all anyone could talk about. Yeah. We proved it can be done, because if you make people care, and part of that was the fact that people didn't think it was possible. I go back and look at some of the boom periods and I think, man, think about all the money that was left on the table. Goldberg and Steve Austin in 1998 or 99. You kidding me? Or Flair and Hogan in the heyday, not later on when they both got to WCW. Flair and Hogan in 86 or 87 or 88. These are things that could have happened, but the political and myopic sort of view of the promoters and the people running the business decided it wasn't the right thing. We want to know what's best for the fans. Yeah. So we go, hey, if that's a matchup that people want to see, like, we will do our best to make that happen. And if someone else doesn't have the vision to see that, then we move on and we go, okay, great, because we'll make you interested no matter who the opponent is. Right. But we know who the main contenders are, and we know who's box office. Mm-hmm. And I pride myself on being the perfect foil for a lot of those stars. Yeah.
Well, and that's something, kind of a sticking point we've heard with the guys that are running AEW, is that they're listening to the fans. They want to do what the fans want them to do. And so, obviously, you've already worked with Cody, and he's a big part of AEW. Is there anything that's already in the work? Well, you probably couldn't tell me if there was, but they seem you seem open to working with them. Do you know if they're open to working with NWA?
I don't. It doesn't seem that way. Yeah. But again, they're not running that company. Yeah, it's not right. It's not really their company. It's Tony Khan's company. Yeah. So unless he has a change of heart, it doesn't seem like that's an option. But that's fine. That's his. But it goes to what I'm saying, where if there is that conversation out there in the water supply, like, man, wouldn't it be great for Cody Aldis 3? It's there anytime they want it. Yeah, it's absolutely there anytime they want it. It's just whether people can see past their own interests, or see past the end of their own nose.
Well, we don't want to take up too much more of your time. We really appreciate you sitting down with us, and we can't wait to see you here, of course, live tonight for the TV tapings tonight and tomorrow night here in Atlanta. And NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
This is the Mean Street Podcast.